Speak.
Sir, I rise to support the bills which have been taken together for discussion. A question may arise that what prompted the government to go for repealing of so many acts at a time. To my mind, the reply is that most of the acts which have been listed in the bill have either gone obsolete or redundant because of newer acts have come into being or because of the different rulings of the Supreme Court or the covenants, international covenants ratified by India. Possibly these are the reasons for which the government has come out with the repealing and amending the acts. Sir, there are many acts listed for repealing which date back to pre-independent era, rightly pointed out by some of my honorable colleagues, such as the Public Servants Inquiries Act of 1850, the Sheriff Fees Act 1852, the Converts Marriage Dissolution Act 1866, etc., etc. Now, sir, these acts ought to have been repealed much earlier than today, but unfortunately, it escaped the attention or notice of the successive governments at the center. That is why I support these bills which have been taken together. Now, so Article 372, Clause 1 of the Constitution says that pre-independent laws continue to remain in force unless amended or repealed by a competent legislation. Now, which is the competent legislation in regard to certain acts which have been listed in List 1, List 2, and List 3? Now, based on the reading of Article 372 and Clause 1, the Law Commission of India in its 248th report, published in September 2014, mentioned, and I quote, "If the subject matter of a pre-constitutional law falls into the state list, the state government is competent legislature to repeal that act," unquote. I sincerely hope that the government has followed this recommendation of the Law Commission, which is otherwise a legal requirement. Sir, the Law Commission also recommended that appropriation acts that are older than 10 years should also be repealed. And in the recent past, we have repealed so many appropriation acts. Now we should follow the Australian formula, sir. What happens in Australia? The Australian Legislation Act of 2001 mandates for automatic repeal of appropriation acts on the last day of a particular financial year. So if we adopt that Australian model, then there shall be no need to bring out a long list of appropriation bills for repealing. So I would urge upon the government to use that on the expiry of the last day of the financial year, the appropriation bill should automatically be repealed, for which the government should make a separate legislation. That is my suggestion.
Good suggestion.
And another suggestion.
That's a good suggestion.
Another suggestion, sir. Then all the time we do not oppose, sir. We play the role of constructive opposition.
Okay.
Sir, I sincerely believe that while introducing the bills, the government must taken care of the provisions of Section 6 and Section 6A of the General Clauses Act of 1897. Otherwise, a situation may arise where so many litigations will unnecessarily come and government will have to face. Sir, it must be made clear that the government does not end with repeals and amendments. The bigger idea behind this bill being deliberated today must be to reform the idea of India. As lawmakers, we should move away from enacting legislation now and then which are counterproductive to the well-being of the citizens. Only where the necessity arises, then only we should go for legislation. Otherwise, to appease one section or other sections of the society, the government must not bring any law. Otherwise, we'll have to face similar situation for repealing and amending the acts, and it will be a continuous process. With these words, I support this bill, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sukhendu ji. Now, Honorable Minister.